So if we look at this problem, y equals x squared plus 6x minus 6. Following the rules that are to the left on your paper, our first step is to move the number, in this case the 6, to the other side. So we're going to add 6 to both sides. Personal preference, I'd like to write the 6, I'm going to write 6 plus y. If you write y plus 6, that's fine. There's no difference. I just prefer to write the number here. 6 plus y equals x squared plus 6x. But we're going to be completing the square. When we completed the square, we need to add the box. And not only are we going to add the box on the right side, but we need to add the box on the left side. So now what's going to happen is we're going to look in front of the box. So we've got that 6x. We're going to take the 6, including its sign, so it's positive 6, divide by 2, and square. And if we add that number to the right side, we need to add that number to the left side. 6 divided by 2 squared. I'm going to simplify that a little bit. 6 divided by 2 is 3. So this is going to be 3 squared plus 6 plus y. And over here on the right of the equals, we get x squared plus 6x plus 3 squared. Now we're to step 4 in our list, which is the factor. And to avoid the split the middle, if we can remember that when we're completing the square, we're going to have the same values in these parentheses, we don't have to spend our time splitting the middle. X squared is x times x. 3 squared is 3 times 3, and it was a positive 3. We factored and we didn't have to split the middle. On the other side, we can start getting ready to combine, so we can fill in what 3 squared equals. 3 squared is 9 plus 6 plus y. In your notes, it says factor the trinomial, and then it says parentheses condense. So we're going to condense. Instead of writing x plus 3 times x plus 3, let's write x plus 3 squared times itself. That's what squared means. And over here, 9 plus 6 is 15 plus y. Once again, when we're working with completing the square, we want to solve for y. So we're not going to get a numerical value. We're going to rewrite the equation. That's our ultimate goal. And we can finish this by subtracting 15 from both sides. And we end up with y equals x plus 3 squared minus 15. What we did is we took that equation of x squared plus 6x minus 6, which is in standard form, and we converted it into y equals the quantity of x plus 3 squared minus 15, which is vertex form. Now you've seen one, and they might be a little odd, but let's flip our paper over and try this one. Once again, the steps are: put the variables on one side, the constants on the other. Or put the x's on one side, the constant on the other. So I need to do a little bit better with my space here, but we're going to add 20 to both sides. So this is going to be 20 plus y, and it is fine if you write y plus 20. equals x squared minus 8x. But we want to figure out the completing the square part. So we need to add a box to both sides. Nice thing on this problem and our previous example is that there's no number in front of the x squared term, so we don't have to worry about that right now. But we need to figure out what's going to go in the box. So we look at the term in front of the box, which is negative 8x. So we're going to use the negative 8. Negative 8 divided by 2 squared. There's that b divided by 2 squared. And if we put that value in that box, then we're going to put the same value in our other box. And let's simplify that. Negative 8 divided by 2 is negative 4 squared. And then we have our plus 20 plus y. And over here we get x squared minus 8x plus negative 4 squared. Once we have it written in this format, we can factor. And we don't have to worry about splitting the middle as long as we understand that we're creating a perfect square trinomial, which means that the values in these two parentheses are going to be exactly the same. X squared is x times x. And then we have negative 4 squared in our box. This is going to be minus 4 minus 4. By the way, the negative 8 is hidden in these two parentheses. If you would multiply those parentheses out, the negative 8 would show back up again. But over here on the other side, negative 4 squared. If you have to type it in, make sure to put the parentheses. But negative 4 squared means negative 4 times negative 4, which is positive 16, plus 20, plus 1. So we are to step 5 here, which is to solve for y. We do need to condense, so we actually need to finish up step 4, but we've done the hard part. And x minus 4 times x minus 4 is x minus 4 squared. And on the left side, 16 plus 20 is 36. And now we're going to move the 36 over. And that's going to put us into Vertex form. We get y equals x minus 4 squared minus 36. And when we go back up to our box here, because we've completed the square, we turned standard form into vertex form. So that's what we're going to fill in. Y equals x minus 4 squared minus 36. And it's not going to show up on your calculator necessarily. So hopefully we can learn to read this. Our turning point. Change the sign, keep the sign. Negative 4 becomes positive 4. Negative 36 stays negative 36. And I was focused on the completing the square, but I should have talked about the y-intercept at the very beginning. Because we can get the y-intercept from this format here, our standard form. And what we know is that a is 1, b is negative 8, and c is negative 20. Our y-intercept is 0, c. So we should have and could have filled that in earlier as 0, -20. Now, one last thing that I want to show is if we flip over to the calculator here, and you go to y equals, we type in the original problem. Y equals x squared minus 8x minus 20. And then we type in our vertex form that we just came up with, which was the x minus 4 squared minus 36 delete, delete, delete. It's going to be really quick on the screen when I press graph. And the nice thing is, for me, my first graph is going to graph in blue, and my second graph is going to graph in red. So watch what happens. Blue, red. And I actually don't even use this screen to check. The red graph landed right on the blue graph, which means that we have the proper form. We have the correct answer. I actually usually use second in the table because it's faster. Some calculators graph faster than others. And what I see, and again, nice for me that I have the color coded, but it doesn't matter. Our Y1 column, which on my screen happens to be blue, is exactly the same as my Y2 column that happens to be in red. Again, it's a checking mechanism. Did I do the problem right? The answer is yes, if the blue column and the red column are the same. If those numbers are not the same, then something's wrong.